Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh. I sell used books, CDs, DVDs, and lots of other stuff on platforms like eBay and Amazon. This is what I do full-time to support my family. I've been doing this for several years now, and I've learned a lot in that time. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've learned a lot of things, but I just want to share with you guys today 10 mistakes. I wrote these all down that I have made over the years, things I have learned, things that I do differently. Something I've been thinking a lot about lately, I guess, at least in the past couple of weeks, something that's kind of been on my mind is, what do I not know that I don't know? Like, there's some things I don't know. Like, I don't completely know how the fees on Amazon work. They're super complicated. I don't know exactly what it costs to ship a package to Guam. There's some things I don't know and I just don't care enough to learn. But there are also some things that I don't even know that I don't know them and I should know them. And so that's kind of why I'm making this video, maybe for some of you that are just getting started out. These are some things maybe you don't know that you don't know, and you can figure them out here and get going. Is this already really confused? I'm just going to get into it. 10 big mistakes I have made. Not necessarily big. And these are not in any order. These are just in the order that I wrote them down. And number one was shipping poorly. This is something I can think back to like very early, like just kind of doing this for fun, hustle, just making some extra cash. So very first, like, origin stories here. Like, I bought these 2 toolboxes off of Facebook Marketplace. I paid $10 for them. They had a bunch of tools in them. Didn't have exactly what I wanted. So it was mostly like sockets and stuff. I was wanting a set of impact sockets. This is actually my whole origin story here. Paid $10 for all this stuff. I got it back home and I was just like, this is not really what I want. But there's like a bunch of Snap-on, Matco, really good brands in here, a bunch of Craftsman, different things. I was like, you know what? I bet I could sell some of this on eBay and make some money, because I'd sold a few things on eBay before. So from that $10, I started selling stuff. And that's what spawned this whole business. I took the $10 out, everything that's part of the business has come since then. But anyways, I did not know how to ship then. Number one, I did not have a scale, so I was just guessing on weights, and I got a lot of chargebacks because of that. And number two, I did not know how to ship things properly. So I had this set of nut drivers. They were some Craftsman nut drivers, and I put them in this box, printed the label, didn't weigh it, and then I dropped the label in like one of the blue USPS drop-off boxes, and I heard it fall to the bottom and just make this terrible noise. And I was just like, that didn't sound good. And you know what? For some reason, that package never got scanned again or anything. I'm pretty sure that box just like imploded at that point when I dropped it in there. Because like, you could take the box and shake it and just hear things move around. Like, I did not know what I was doing. When you pack something properly, you should be able to shake it, throw it, never hear it move around inside that box. But that was number one mistake that I made first starting out. Shipping poorly, not knowing how to ship things. It's really not that difficult to ship things, just you do have to protect them. Number two on my list, which I guess I just talked about this a second ago, and that is not understanding fees. Specifically talking eBay here, listing things for too low a value on eBay and not making any money, because I didn't really understand the fees. There is a website you can go to, and I suggest if you're starting out, go to this website, put in a bunch of different numbers for selling cost, shipping, lots of different things. Figure out how much money you're going to make. This website is ebayfeescalculator.com. Absolutely great. I've spent a lot of time on it. Yeah, don't price your things too low where you are losing money. Like, one thing to really understand is you're paying fees on not just the item price, but also any shipping, any sales tax, and all of that stuff. So like, while fees are really only around 15%, like that can be 30%, 40% of your sales price if your shipping is way more or about equal to the actual sales price. So something to keep in mind. Number three on my list is being late to market trends. There are times, especially in the media world, where like an item might go up in price a lot. Maybe somebody passes away, maybe there's a new release of a TV show coming out or something like that. And if you price your thing at what looks like the current market value, whenever it is beginning to decline, that item is never going to sell because the market is now in a decline. Prices are dropping, and your item is now overpriced and never going to sell for that price. So pricing them too high because you're late to this like market boom, this market trend, this hot thing that is currently happening, and then your item just sits, never sells because now it is grossly overpriced. So that is something to pay attention to. If you've got any of these hot market trends happening, price very aggressively, relook at them in a week or so, make sure they get sold. Number 4 is overpaying for bulk lots. It is very, very hard, especially when you're first getting started out, to like look at a pile of something and know how many of them is there. Like if you see a box full of CDs, how many CDs are in that box without having to count it? How many DVDs are there? And then how much can you pay per piece and actually make it make sense? Keeping all those things straight, especially when you're starting out and just overwhelmed with like so much stuff. How do you buy that correctly? Because buying in bulk is really a big key to this whole business of buying things and selling things. If you can buy them properly in bulk and then process them properly in a reasonable amount of time, you'll be fine. But if you can't do those two parts of the process, you got to have both parts of the process, buying it correctly, processing it quickly and effectively. If you don't have those two parts, it's going to be really bad for you. Number 5, this is something from the very early days I did some of, but definitely do not do anymore. And that is overselling your item or trying to hide any flaws. If something that you are selling, like, I don't know, what can you do? Let's say you're selling this box right here. See how the corner is kind of dinged up? If you try to hide that when you're taking pictures and then the buyer gets that, they're going to see it right away and not be happy. You want to highlight the flaws, not hide the flaws. Highlight the flaws so that the buyer knows exactly what they are getting, so that when they get it, they're not disappointed. You want them happy when they open the item, not disappointed. A disappointed buyer is one that's going to leave negative feedback. They're going to return the item, and they're going to be a headache for you. Headaches are what slows everything down. Losing a couple dollars because you got a little ding on something, that doesn't slow anything down. Headaches slow things down. So hiding flaws slows down the whole process and costs you way more money than you would have made by hiding that flaw. So actually highlighting the flaws is going to make you more money because you're not going to have headaches that slow you down on the next 10 items that you're selling. Hopefully that makes sense. Number 6, wasting time on tasks that don't make money. There's lots of tasks around here that you could be doing in your business that don't actually make you any extra money. Some of them you do have to do, like taking out the trash. Taking out trash does not make me any money, but it's a part of the business that has to be done to keep things moving and running effectively. The less times you can touch an item, the better, the more money you're going to make. If you find yourself constantly moving things around, reorganizing things, moving them from point A to point B to point C to point D to point E to point F, that is not good. If you find yourself wasting a lot of time, like in calls where you're talking to people about how to do things, or wasting a lot of time watching YouTube videos like this one, stop right now. Go find something else to do. Those are great things to listen to or to do while you're working, while you're doing other things, but those things don't make you money. If you are spending time on tasks that don't actually make you money, your business is eventually going to fail. Things that make you money, right here. Listing stuff on eBay and getting it sold. That's what makes you money. Anything that doesn't move you towards that is a waste of time. Simple as that. Focus on the goal. Listing things on eBay or Amazon or wherever you sell them, getting them sold. That is what makes you money. Listings should be a #1 priority every single day. Anything else, that's for afterwards, after we've gotten our actual work done. Number 7, on my list here of the top 10 mistakes I made when I started out selling on eBay, is selling to shady buyers. What I mean by shady buyers is sometimes Every time I used to get a message, I would really want to get that sale done because I was like, I've got somebody on the hook. I need to reel this line in, get them caught. But there's some buyers out there, you don't want to catch them because they are just going to be a complete mess and complete garbage. So anybody that sends me like messages about smell, or they like send 20 questions about the condition of the item, or a lot of times like confused non-English speaking, like people from a different country that seems really confused about the item, those are types of buyers I just go block, because number one, they're going to be a lot of time answering all those questions, answering about smell, or trying to answer questions for a confused international buyer. There's my word, international buyer. Number one, they're not a good use of my time. I can wait for buyers that are not going to give me those headaches. And number two, these are buyers that are probably not going to be happy with the item that they get no matter what. Now, with that being said, this doesn't mean we ignore every question somebody sends me. This doesn't mean also that I ignore every smell question I get, because I will answer it sometimes if I get the right vibe or the right feeling from the way they're phrasing things. This is something you learn just with more experience with dealing with lots more questions. Like, there's certain types of questions you can answer and certain ones you can't. Depends a lot on just the person that you're dealing with, and you will learn this the more you deal with people. Anytime, there's been several buyers over the years where I've answered a lot of questions and wish I hadn't. And there's been a lot of times where I've had just one or two little questions, I've answered them and been very, very happy. And determining whether when somebody messages you, if it's the type of question to answer or not, is more of an art than a science. You will eventually get it if you stick this out enough, but some buyers, when they send me a message, I block them right away. And I think that is the appropriate thing to do. I know not everybody will agree with me on that one, but some buyers should just be blocked right away. You should send them to your competitors. Let them waste their time, not your time. Yeah. Number 8, trying to buy everything that is profitable. You can't buy everything that's profitable. There's way too much stuff out there. You don't have to buy every deal. You don't have to buy every category you come across. Find something to specialize in. Wish I had done that sooner. I am currently specializing in media, mostly books, CDs, and DVDs. You can't buy everything. There's too much of it out there. You can't please everybody and buy all their stuff. Yeah, don't try to buy everything. Number 9 on my list is whenever I was buying things, there was a while where I was really not paying close enough attention to condition. Condition is a very, very important factor. Just because you see something that sold for $100 doesn't mean yours is going to sell for $100 if the condition is not comparable. Condition, at least in my experience, is way more important than I think it is. That's something I try to remind myself of each and every day. Yeah, but condition is more important than you think it is. At least in my case. Maybe that's just something I struggle with. Number 10 on my list is not implementing Amazon FBA sooner. And for everybody in their business, this is going to be different. Amazon FBA for me is a way for me to scale my business. It's basically a way for me to use Amazon's employees as my own employees. I can send stuff there, they can fulfill it, they can do the shipping out. I don't have to hire employees myself to do it. I can let Amazon's employees do it. I pay a higher fee to get to use their employees, but I get to use their employees every single day to ship out my items. I get to use their warehouses to store my items. And I think it's a great thing. So not using that sooner is something that I definitely regret. I wish I would have gone into that 12 to 18 months sooner. But oh well. For other people, you could do this differently. Maybe it's not hiring employees sooner. I still have not hired an employee. That is because I do not want an employee. I do all this out of my house. I do not want somebody here every day. So that's just a decision me, my wife, my family we have made. Every once in a while, I will have somebody come and do photographs or something like that. And that's more like helping friends and family out when they're in between jobs or when they're in a tough situation. And I'm very glad and very blessed that I can do that. However, I don't want somebody here full time. I don't want somebody here 40 hours a week that I'm responsible for. And that's just here. Like, I do this so that I can spend all day with my family. Like, why would I want somebody else here with us? Like, I don't know. That's why hiring employees is really out of the picture for us, at least now in our current state. But by using Amazon FBA, I'm able to use Amazon's employees every single day and scale that way. And should have done it 12 to 18 months sooner. But these have been my top 10 mistakes I made really from very first days of getting started, that first toolbox purchase buy for $10 until now. Like, maybe I should be hiring an employee, but I don't think so. But anyways, what are some mistakes you've made along the way? Is there anything I left out? What do I not know that I don't know? Tell me this in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.